course, this morning we want to look at a serious burning issue that has been drawn to the attention of most Nigerians. Surprisingly, Lagos has been ranked as the fourth worst city to live in the world. Lagos, our very metropolitan city. Of course, to have this conversation this morning, joining us virtually will be Comrade Ayodele Adewale, who himself is the State Organizing Secretary, APC, Lagos State Chapter. Of course, a man who is flanked with several other acumens of honor. Former president of Lagos State University Students Union Government. Good morning. Good to have you on the show, Comrade Ayodele. Okay. This conversation is a trigger. Let's while we wait for Comrade Ayodele to come up, but then overall, a report giving that Lagos State now stands at number 4, having fallen two lines back, because I mean they were number 2 in 2022, and now they've fallen to number 4, having seen some basic improvement around healthcare provision and a little bit of education. But then I'm sure it will be stinging to a lot of Lagosians to receive this particular information, and whilst others will just agree that yes, it's true.
And then when we say that they were number 2 before, yes, and they have dropped 2 lines back to number 4, would we say that that should be something that we should just find ourselves or pat ourselves on the back and say, oh, after all, we were number 2 and now we have become number 4? Okay, Comrade Ayodele Adewale is up now. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us from Lagos this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Yeah, just like you said.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can absolutely. Yeah, you are on a line of thought.
Yeah, I said, just like you were saying, before now, Comrade Ayodele Adewale, we were at number 2 as Lagos State, actually, as world's
the worst city to
live in. And now we're at number 4. Will we say that we have done well, you know, just because we have fallen 2 lines back?
Well, I don't know where you've gotten that information from, and I don't know how.
Now this is according to the Global Livability Index 2023 that was released like 5 days ago, I guess.
Yes, 2 days.
Well, that is not correct. That is not correct. We need to prognose and really know how they arrive at their conclusion. But that is far from the reality.
Okay, so I think while we are saying that it is far from reality, there are certain very significant factors that they are using, you know, to come at this particular indices. And one of it is healthcare, the next is education, the next is stability, infrastructure, and environment. So maybe you give us a perspective to how Lagos State is looking like when you even look at these factors.
You see, as journalists, even when people throw up all of these fake reports, you should do some due diligence by investigating on their information and trying to juxtapose it with many cities of the world. And that is why I still contested the information given to you or how they arrive at that conclusion. It's very fake and very misleading. Yes, Lagos is well populated. Yes, Lagos is working very hard to meet global goals and, of course, resolve all of the contending demands in accordance to its revenue and all of that. Many cities that we talk about do have one thing in their control and in their favor. They control human migration. As it is now, within the federal government constitution of Nigeria and within the ECOWAS treaty, people are allowed to move freely from point to point coming to Lagos, even without having any reason for being in Lagos, without having anywhere to stay in Lagos. They come in droves. I believe you can't do this in London, for instance. And that is why the British government also pulled out of Brexit, saying that their cities is overcrowded and they are overwhelming the infrastructure that they have. And they could not cope. So they had to pull out of that agreement. But Lagos does not have that leverage to do. The much Lagos can do is try to welcome people, even if you have no address, and try to settle you, making sure that you conform with the norms and objectives in the state. And the resources they have also compete heavily with a lot of irregularities that many people are brought into Lagos. How can you imagine people coming to Lagos and decide to stay under the bridges in Lagos?
Mm.
And if the government decide to take them back to where they are from, people also will come again and castigate the government that people have the right to move freely as they want. But you forget the fact that you have a responsibility as a government to do, and that the government must make sure that it carries out its responsibility for the safety of life and property. These are the things. As a scientist, as a human being, as a realist, I would like to know how they arrive at that conclusion.
Okay, so it's still, pigging back on how, they arrived at this particular conversation. And, just so to put in perspective, we have, reports from urban planners within Lagos that have affirmed that this postulation by the EIU is actually in the affirmative. Now, these are some of the points raised by the town planners in Lagos. Now, the cited challenges of security, lawlessness, dirtiness, slums and squatter settlements, high social and numerical occupancy ratio. Some of the things you've also mentioned this morning: insufficient water supply, shortage of recreational facilities, traffic problems, which is what takes the lifespan of an average person living in Lagos, insufficient public facilities such as educational facilities, health facilities, social cultural amenities, poor infrastructure. Now, Lagos is part of those cities in Nigeria that is heavily hit when the floods come. As we
Exactly.
speak already, some parts of Lagos is overtaken by the floods, and epileptic power supply is not even something we want to talk about in Lagos. So when we look at all of these indices, and the EIU is saying they have across 130 countries that were enumerated, Nigeria stands at number 4 as a result of all of these indices that have been underweight. And town planners in Lagos are saying, yes, this is true. Lagos is highly uninhabitable at the moment. So those are some of the indices. Those are the things they
Let me
used
take
in
it from the
measuring.
Yes.
let me take it from the point of infrastructure. You have mentioned traffic and all of that. Are you aware that the government of Lagos is building a red line,
Yes, we are
and they
aware of
just
that.
concluded the
Yes.
blue line,
Yes.
and a lot of roads are being built, and all of this. These are what account for some of the traffic situations that you're seeing. It is only in Lagos in Nigeria that took the bold step to create a traffic law enforcement agency called the LAWMA in order to resolve all of these things.
How
The
effective
traffic
is
situation you
lawman?
see in Lagos, like
How
I
is
said earlier,
effective? How effective is lawman? When we speak about that, how effective are they?
it's effect. It's I said
Okay, last one. Okay.
last month with relation to traffic. Yes, with relation to traffic control.
Okay, so we've lost your audio.
Okay.
Hello,
Yes, we can hear
Yes,
you
we can
now. We
hear you
lost
now.
your
hello.
audio at some point. Go ahead.
Yes. If you take last month out of the equation in Lagos, you are going to have a comatose, a heavy chaos. The last month officers are doing their best, but like I told you, the movement of people from everywhere is also a limitation. If you talk about power supply, up till now, Lagos had no power under the Constitution of Nigeria to generate its own electrical energy. Remember that the bill was just signed to law by the last administration, that state government, key players in the industry can come in now and generate, transmit, and distribute energy as it is. Lagos.
Okay, so we've lost Mr. Ayodele's
It's
audio
audio again.
again, but yeah, it's quite a sorry situation.
Okay,
You know,
so just let us know once your audio is back up. I think he's trying to fix it. Okay,
okay, so it's such a sorry situation when you look at the indices, that has been reeled out. When you talk about slum areas, we know that they are most like very, what do I call them now? Prominent places. I'm trying to remember names of these places where it's very synonymous. Ojuelegba, then there's the Magodo now, that are very synonymous with slum areas. But I know that over the years, government of Lagos State have been able to try to revamp these areas and bring them to life. There's been a lot of demolitions going on and all of that. But it's quite a pity when you reel out these indices, especially when we talk about traffic in Lagos State. We talk about flooding. The environment is one instrument or one factor, that this particular global livability report has also pointed out as well. And I think there were several others that you mentioned. So for me, I think instead of trying to debunk these things and say that, oh, Lagos is
it's
good,
not as bad as we
it's
hear.
not as bad as we hear. These are things that government should actually, these are reports that government should actually use as a way forward, going forward, to try to see how they can solve and sort some of these issues.
Bringing up policies and projects that will make sure that, as of now, like Adewale was trying to say, the Lagos State has put in some efforts. Let's even say that, let's even say that the efforts that they put in so far is what brought them from number 2 to number 4. Because we've seen successive governments try to do different things. He was mentioning LASMA, for instance. LASMA has really tried to, stabilize traffic flow and activity in the state. So maybe these are some of the things that have brought them to number 4. And some of the initiatives that the current governor, Governor Sanwo-Olu, is bringing, the red lines and introduction of train lines in the state will also make it possible. But we are looking even beyond infrastructure. We are looking at several other things. And what's his name now, the president of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, Mr. Nathaniel Adebute, he described Lagos as the city of the survival of the fittest. It's like anyone who can grapple for energy is the one that is going to be able to survive. Okay, Adewale, are you back? Can we hear you? Let's know if your audio is back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, good to have you back.
I'm back. The network has been very, very good.
Yeah. Infrastructural issues in the country.
Yeah, so like that. Yes. The power generation issue in the country, distribution and all of that used to be in the exclusive list in the Nigerian Constitution until the last administration now had to unbundle it and allow for state government to start to produce energy, distribute, and all whatnot. But if you remember, in the year 2000, under the Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu government in Lagos, they tried to embark on an IPP project. And the constitution requirement as at that time did not allow for it. Neither the sitting president, as at that time, President Olusegun Obasanjo, did not cooperate with the Lagos State government. That has been done. By now, issue of power in Lagos and in the country would have been a thing of the past. Lagos would have been selling power, sustaining power, and all of that. So if you go around Nigeria right now, you see a lot of companies, a lot of government now embracing the IPP structure. And the federal government also have allowed for that. So it is work ongoing. That will be resolved very, very soon in Lagos. Beyond that fact, Lagos have put in place a very secure security architecture here, known as the RRS structure. There is even an emergency number that you can call whenever you are in distress, and within some nick of time, they are there to take control of the situation. And these have been sustainable. They even created a stream of finance for that, right? And these have been sustainable. So Lagos is not indifferent when you talk about global issues that concern security. If you go to Harrisburg, if you go to New York, if you find a lot of these issues there. When you even compare the ratio to what is happening in Lagos, you see that Lagos is far, far, far ahead of them and all of that. And I ask you a question. When was the last time you heard about any bank robbery in Lagos? These are things of the past. Or when last did you hear about any grave heinous crime in Lagos that is perpetrated in a high scale? This is not evidential in Lagos. Or when did you see any of these terrorists, even when the country was being attacked, in a very high scale? None of it happened in Lagos. So this goes to show that the security architecture in Lagos is very. Yes, on environmental matters, Lagos is working assiduously hard for making sure that everything is well improved. And that is why Lagos has a system where you have private operators coming into the waste management system in order to dislodge all of this waste. And even Lagos is even very watchful. You saw in the video recently when a woman carried out a dustbin and was throwing it into the drainage. It went very viral. And you have a lot of people doing this. And Lagos continue to engage, Lagos government continue to engage its populace, telling them that look, desist from this. The more you block the drainage line, the more you create the tendency of flooding. Aside from that, the meteorology department have warned that we are going to have a very high rainfall this time around. We're going to have not only in Lagos, all over. And the Lagos government have moved forward to making sure that these things are addressed and people are told to leave some areas, stop put fuels in drainage points, don't disturb the wetland, don't build on wetland, don't build on right of way of flood waters and all of the things.
So I'm happy you've been able to like let us know that it's not all rosy in Lagos, just like this particular statistics has been put out. But for you, your stance as Lagos is not bad. So for me, I'm thinking instead of us debunking the fact that this statistics is wrong, why don't we use what has been put forward before us? Let's also understand that this is not the first time the Global Livability Report is going to come out for Lagos State. Let us use what has been put forward to see how governments can begin to create policies and build infrastructures and developmental strides to better off the life of citizens in Lagos State.
Well, as a journalist, once again, I would want to encourage you not to take sides,
I'm not
right? You're
taking
presenting a
sides
matter which
because
some
I'm
people
not
are
taking
for.
sides. While
Hold
you're
on,
trying
hold
to
on, hold on.
analyze, you have also
Hold
said
on.
that you have some challenges, which is environmental challenges. You've agreed to that fact. So it does not put what the statistics have been brought. It does not totally make it wrong. So this is not me taking sides at all. I'm only
Madam,
saying that we can use what has been put forward to better off the lives of citizens in Lagos State.
Madam, I do agree with you that there are challenges, but not to the extent of the words, chosen words you are using to connote your presentation. That is what I'm contesting.
Okay.
I'm not saying that there are no challenges, but the words that you have chosen to connote these challenges that is before any city, popular city in the world, and all of that is what I'm trying to advise against.
Okay.
That you are more or less coming into the ring. Some people have given you an information, and I'm telling you that from the point of reality, those information are not particularly true. Because when you talk about worst city for,
I think we've lost his audio again. But I like the fact that he's been able to point out that, look, when we talk about environmental challenges, we really do have environmental challenges in Lagos State. And this is a call to action for the government of Lagos State. I like also the fact that, they are also trying to bring up citizens to understand, educate them to understand that, look, you have a part to play
Of
in
course.
making Lagos State a better
Livable.
place and more livable place for everybody. And government also has their own part to play as well when we talk about environment, when we even talk about, refuse disposition and all of that. But I think, well, we have Ayodele Adewale back. You can just continue your trend of thought.
Yeah, I've been trying to get your attention. I can hear what you're saying.
Yes.
So the network wants to just jump in. So like I said, there are challenges, and there are all challenges all over the world, right? The more human improve on their system, the more challenges will come. The more government will try to overcome those challenges, and I mean that's why the government is there. And the Lagos State government have been a very listening government, a very caring government. It is not a brute government. It's a government that tries to help the people to walk the system and all of that. We believe that we must walk this journey together. I mean, you are transmitting from Uyo, right? Uyo is a city. I was in Uyo for over 1 year, as an NYC youth corps member. But I know that the population of the people living in Uyo is just like putting in a pin in a haystack when you compare it to the population in Lagos. If you flip the side, right, and bring the numbers of people down to Uyo, I can assure you of what that city would have become. So when you talk about Lagos, Lagos is one of the most populous cities in the world, and Lagos is happy about that. Lagos is happy that people are coming in with nothing, and they are going out of Lagos as billionaires. That is what Lagos is to everyone. Very accommodating.
I think I
But
will come
the
back
more people come
to
into Lagos, they must understand.
I think I will come back to what Uyai
The more
had
people come into
raised
Lagos,
initially. What Uyai had raised initially. Now, you were talking about a particular person that said Lagos
Yeah.
is more like survival
Of the
of the
fetus. Yeah.
fittest. So it's more like people are in Lagos struggling for
no,
livelihood.
So I think something else we should just
no,
pay a
no,
little bit of
no.
attention to.
I don't think that. I don't think that connotation defeats what you're trying to imply.
No,
Lagos
no,
is home to
but
all. Whether
Ayodele,
you are
that
the
is
fittest
like the
or you are the
literal picture of a
Lagos have support
Lagosian.
system to make everybody stand very well.
But that is literally the picture of a Lagosian.
The
A
what?
Lagosian is always on the run.
On the run.
If you're not trying to meet up with traffic, you're trying to live up
No,
to the
no.
high expense of accommodation and other things. But let's even backtrack a little bit and talk about town planning, which has been, brought up the table as part of the reasons why they're saying Lagos State is not so livable. Agreed. Successive governments are now working together with professionals in that sector to try and plan out certain areas of Lagos State to promote livability. So let's talk a little bit about town planning. What's your idea about the collaboration between state governments and professional town planners rather, to at least say, okay, let us make, and then let's not pick out the likes of Banana Island, pick out Lekki, the highbrow areas of Lagos, to think that, oh,
No.
all is well with
It's
Lagos.
not, because we have so many flooding issues bedeviling these areas.
So, like, to just
Well,
put it
those areas
together,
that you
the
have
place of
mentioned
town planning
are part.
and livability.
Those areas that you have mentioned are part of the strength and blessings of Lagos, like other global cities will always have, and all of that. So we are proud about those areas. But the government of Lagos State have a very huge, robust master plan for development. That is why you see that even before the federal government signed into law that state government can provide rail system, Lagos have moved in, and the rail network, the red line, is almost completed. And in many parts of Lagos, there's urban renewal going on. If you go to the Yaba areas now, You see that the old buildings are making way for new buildings. These are not just government building. Government is collaborating with the private sector to build, to put up this building and well regulated. And that is why the Lagos State Ministry of Physical Planning is going all out, beyond the fact that the population is so huge, the buildings coming up are so much, and they're going all out to make sure that people conform regulations. And when they see that they are not in sync with the regulation, they bring up the penalties to making sure that they bring everybody online. The space is looking, the space looks small, but again is very huge. When you put the human numbers carrying out sundry activities in place.
So these
The Town
available
Planners
landmass,
Association, or
these available landmass that the state
what?
government is trying to stretch into, will it cater for the numerical influx? Because even as we speak, there's still a lot of migration into Lagos. When we expand into the land that you say Lagos has, will it at
Definitely.
least the barest minimum cater for the numbers?
Yes, they're doing that, especially on transportation. I mean, this rail system, you will agree with me that the biggest means of commuting within any populous environment is rail. You understand? Now, this rail system are even going into deeper, far areas of Lagos in order to bring people from one point to the other, reducing the numbers of vehicles on the road. Lagos have also ventured into water transportation. If you look from the coast of Ikorodu all the way down to Victoria Island and Ekpe and some other areas, people use more of water transport. You can imagine if those people have gone to the road as it is, it will be very, very hectic beyond what you are trying to put forward. Lagos have also developed the transport, the bus lane, telling people not to even move into these bus lanes, allowing for free flow of traffic and all of that. New roads are even coming up from the swamp. If you look at the Ikeja area, spanning towards the Oworoshoki and all of these things, these new roads are coming to decongest the existing roads and allow for free flow of traffic. The Fourth Mainland Bridge is coming up, right? And
The
all of
second
these things.
phase.
This will also, decongest our roads, major roads that people are used to. You understand? And Lagos is also contending with taking care of federal infrastructure. All of the federal bridges in Lagos are being majorly maintained by the Lagos state government and all of these things. These are competing things that challenge the resources in Lagos, right? So it's a work in progress. All
Absolutely.
we are appealing to is that people should obey traffic laws, people obey security laws, and people obey environmental laws. The more they obey these laws, the more it makes life very easy for people, not only in Lagos, but all over the world.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much.
I think
Great
that was just a
landing.
good landing for
Yes,
us
great
this morning.
landing.
Yes, people should obey rules and regulations.
Absolutely.
And being Lagos State being a work in progress, that's fantastic. We have also seen the numerous work that this present administration is putting to make Lagos State a better
Exactly.
place and more habitable for the people. And we really commend you and all the good work you're doing at this point in time. But don't forget, Mr. Ayodele Adewale, the media will always be here to criticize and also set agenda for better governance and developmental strides as well. We are the mouthpiece of the people, so we would
Definitely.
always say it the way the people are saying it as well. So don't take us to
Yeah,
to
and
be
then
taking sides at this
yes,
moment.
and another thing is whether the statistics are a given or not, it's calling our attention to certain things.
Yeah.
And there's some of the things you've enunciated this morning is also showing us the attempts by the
The
Lagos
state
state
government.
government to fix this thing. So we know that whether or not the statistics are right, by the time they come for next year's evaluation, Lagos would have fallen further down again in their in the analysis, and this gives us more hope, and we are thankful for that. We want to say a really big thank you to you for giving us your time and painting Lagos with a better image in all our eyes nationwide this morning. Of course, we were speaking to Adewale this morning, all the way from Lagos,
Yes,
explaining how livable the current administration and the past ones have been trying to make Lagos over the years. But that's the argument this morning, and we can let it to rest with the fact that
it's a work in
yeah,
progress.
it's a work in progress.
Definitely.